fight.
Oh no.
I'm having fun in this fight. Mm. Mm. Ready. Now I'm tired.
Your Opinion Stinks opens the conversation on a hot button business topic.
And flips it on its head.
Hosted by a wellness coach
And a business coach.
we break down conventional business
While building entrepreneurs up for success.
Who
will you agree with?
Welcome to Your Opinion Stinks. I'm Tanisha.
And I'm Tim. Thank you for watching on the YouTubes and listening on the iTunes. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit that alert button so you know when a new show goes up. iTunes, anywhere you listen to podcasts, subscribe and hit that auto download in your favorite application. And of course, join the community at youropinionstinks.com/uplift to get a whole bunch of extras that we do exclusively for our community members. And ultimately, be a part of the conversation and everything else we do. So,
Yes, indeed.
what's on tap?
Well, today's topic, we're taking a departure from the usual format. We are continuing what may become the debate series.
Okay. So these must be the fights.
The fights.
Yeah.
So I decided this week's episode would be about the fight we started to have 2 episodes ago. Season 2,
Ready.
episode 2.
Ready. Red E. Let's go.
So, if you have not heard that episode, it might be fun. It's about leadership. It's part 1 of a 2-part leadership series.
Yep.
And Tim derailed our conversation in that first episode into a fight about whether anyone can sell anything
Because
to
you
anyone.
can. Because you can.
So to quickly I have not prepped any facts, definitions, anything for this. We're just going to see where this goes. It may be a shorter episode, maybe the longest one we've ever done. But we're going to fight about, because both of us had very passionate perspectives and were surprised by this fight 2 episodes during a different fight. So
The fight of the century of this week.
So if you haven't heard that episode, very brief recap. We started debating certain specific things that would they or wouldn't they work.
Yep.
And so I think the most debate happened around, you mentioned the pet rock.
Yes.
And I said the pet rock was a unique thing that you can't just sell anything. And we have a little Mario figurine. I don't think there he is.
It's an amiibo.
Oh, okay.
Made by Nintendo of America. Well, no, probably Nintendo of Japan, but Nintendo.
And you were like, well, people bought this. And I'm like, but that's Mario. And then I started to describe if that same thing was just a puke green blob with no face that didn't connect to any brand or anything, people wouldn't buy that just because it was molded plastic. So I'm going to let you take over and make the case, because this just...
Let me go ahead and pop my collar and brush my shoulder off real quick.
Oh my.
Because I'm feeling...
Might have been a
feeling
terrible mistake.
I'm feeling my inner Jay-Z coming out.
Oh boy.
So let me just throw some things at you.
Okay.
So I truly believe there is a customer for everything. There's a mate for every mate less. Just a matter of finding them, having some pitching you the right offer. There's always someone that can sell you a car, and you will go in there. You want a blue car, and they'll ask you, do you want silver, or silver? And you'll drive off the lot with a silver car. And there's always a product and solution for everyone who has a problem that they need to solve. I just went quickly on the Google machine and found the As Seen on TV site because back in the day, before the internet really got popular, most weird things were sold between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., somewhere in that range. And you'll find the strangest things that all of a sudden you just need to have, and you get that credit card, you call that person who's surprisingly up at this time of night and ready to take your order with a smile. Because at that moment in time, you saw that your problem was solved, even if you didn't know that product existed. I'm going to throw some products at you guys, and we'll just talk them through and see about, how good or bad or different it was. But the fact that it was created and sold.
But just because it's a weird, stupid thing that was created and sold doesn't mean my weird, stupid thing will be created and sold.
No, it's a matter of, I will break this down for everyone. Don't worry about what's happening over here. Just focus right here. All right, here we go. So the first product that I thought was really weird, and I don't know how it fits as a solution, but it is one, is the Arctic Air, which is a portable air conditioner. Now, I think somewhere in your life you might have been hot. Have you not? Wouldn't it have been nice if you had nice, cool, consistently blowing air on your person, in your personal space, as your own personal fan? I could have sworn someone was talking about that in pre, like you would nice. Then the Arctic Air is for you. So what is the problem that it's solving? It's solving the problem of not having cool air when you feel hot at a moment's notice. The solution is a little teeny, well, not really teeny, but GameCube
smaller
size,
than an air conditioner in a window.
GameCube size portable air conditioner. And how does it work? I'm assuming this part.
Okay.
I don't have one.
Then why?
You plug it into something and you turn it on and it blows cold air.
No,
You might need to add water. I don't know.
You probably have to. These would be all over the place if it was that easy.
We'll get there. But this is a product that has many different reviews on YouTube, which shows that there definitely is a market for it because people are then taking the time to create videos to talk about it, to keep you informed. Point one. Point two. Is it something that actually made it to the masses? It actually is. I went into my local Rite Aid out of all places, and they have an As Seen for TV section, and lo and behold, right at the bottom shelf with a nice couple stacks of them was the Arctic Air. I also went into Bed Bath & Beyond to get some supplies, and I saw, Arctic Air's on shelf. So that means that even the retailers see viability in carrying this product that made it to market. And then how is it doing? Well, apparently with all these videos, people are at least buying them enough to talk about them. So it must be sold. So who did this solve for? The person who wanted to be cool. That's product one. Please debate me on that.
Okay. You still haven't addressed my initial concern. You can't just show me a bunch of As Seen on TV stuff and because you think it's stupid. See, there's a buyer for everything. No, that's not the same thing as me trying to sell the puke green blob of plastic. That's not the same thing.
Example number two. So
you can't. Are you really gonna just list a bunch of As Seen on TV stuff though it's proving your point? Because it's not.
No, I will break down. One that has nothing to do with As Seen on TV.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna skip this one so that way I can go to one that's not on As Seen TV because this one we actually met this person. So, being that I'm in the community that I am, and I get to share this with my lovely wife, whose opinion sometimes is a bit flawed. We happened to luck ourselves in North Carolina to where one of the speakers who was there was Forbes Riley. Now, if you don't know who Forbes is, she's been in the home selling shopping network, the home shopping network type of dealio for quite some time. She's one of the OGs of that particular type of selling. And she occasionally goes and talks, and she came from the TV world, I believe. I think she was on television, either as a performer or news or both. I can't remember her story completely. But she, I think she said she created it, so we'll go with that. She created.
She did? I thought she...
Yeah, she wasn't the spokesperson for it. I believe she actually created this. She took it to market and did the whole inventors thing, because she talked about that in her talk. So she created this thing called the spin gym. Now, if you're a person of a certain age, you remember the spin gym being this weight that's on a coiled bungee, and when you pull it, it causes kinetic energy.
It's supposed to add to your strength.
Then when you
tone your arms.
Then when you contract, is contraction if it's coming in? Yeah. Okay. Then
when it recoils.
When you recoil, then it's throwing the kinetic energy back at you. So in essence, it's creating force that you're doing, and the force is supposed to stretch your muscles out and all that type of stuff. This is something that doesn't seem like it would really do anything, but we actually saw people use this at the event, and it's like, oh wow, this thing works. Somebody walked out there, at least one person, I know there was a few more, but at least one person walked out with a spin gym, something you can put in your pocket in a little velvet casing with her DVD, if you still have a DVD player, and you could exercise anywhere you want. The thing feels ridiculous for the sense of what it is, but she did public demonstration. She talked about the story, so there was a connection, and she actually asked for the sale, and a person bought that I believe was not a plant. They bought at the event. Something she just did on the side, because that wasn't even why she was there. That person who bought it felt like they needed to have the ability to take a gym with them wherever they went. Portable exercise, no matter where you are. Spin Gym, brought to you by Ford Riley.
Okay.
Debate me on that.
But didn't even she talk about how that product went through development?
Yes.
You're making it sound as though that first prototype, whatever it was, however crappy it was,
That's
because
not what I
it
said,
must have been
and
flawed.
I wasn't alluding to that.
Could just go. You said there's a buyer for everything.
Yes.
And there was an iteration many moons before what you just talked about. Why couldn't she just sell that?
She probably did. We don't know where in the creation process she sold it, but we do know that it was a best-selling item that sold on Home Shopping Network, and it is currently listed on Amazon for, as the time of us showing this video and doing this audio, $43.99 plus free shipping if you have Prime.
Is Spin Gym paying you? Did you get? Was there a check in the mail that I missed?
Forbes?
Ring ring.
Yeah. Yeah. I did it.
Yeah, I talked about that.
Yeah, I talked about the story.
I talked.
Okay.
Yeah, I said how great your arms look.
Yeah. Thank you. You too. You're so awesome. All right, bye. That was Forbes saying how there's a person to buy everything. And she wanted to make sure I made that point. Thank you, Forbes.
Okay, so how do we sell the puke green blob of plastic?
It's called every children's toy that ever existed.
No.
So here's the thing. What Tunisia was alluding to was, could you sell something that had no brand recognition and there was no affinity to it? Every single day, there is a new toy that's created that never makes a shelf. And Tunisia and I will sit on the couch and we're like, who would buy that? What the heck is that?
But that
thing?
made it through all the testing. That was chosen in one of those conventions.
Some person who created this slime green thing that pops out of someone's, like, a little toy figurine butt.
Oh.
It's a butt for a face or something. I remember that one.
Butt for a face.
Yes. And when you squeeze it, something came out of it. It was very disgusting.
Oh my.
But for a little child, that's the funniest thing ever. So somewhere, some parent went and pulled out their credit card and said, my kid needs that butt face toy. And
But
they bought
again, you're talking about the thing that made it to TV. What about the thing that didn't make it to TV?
what was the selling process? How did it get to market? Was it marketed properly? Did it have great targeting? Did it fall into any of the aspects of marketing?
So you're saying marketing can save everything?
I'm saying there is a person to buy everything.
Because you apply the correct marketing.
It's persuasion, it's influence, it's all the stuff that, oh, never mind, you're not taking that class with me. It's the things that I'm talking about right now in my class. Read the book Influence and I believe it's Pre-Influence, I'm not so sure. Robert something, I can't remember. Robert Calvini. And the whole thing is he breaks down how to influence someone to your way of thinking or what you want to do. And
yeah, that's an excellent book.
Yes.
The one we
Influence.
read before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that book's great.
And right now we're actually studying it in class.
Oh, I love that.
The whole thing of that is if you apply the factors of how to move somebody through the buying decision, you have a better chance of making a sale, which means people can sell snake oil, people can sell a vacuum, people can sell, what else? They can sell religion.
Okay.
They can sell you a new water company, whatever.
But
if you're at the time that you're ready to make a buying decision.
Let's take the example of that book that you just mentioned because it is fantastic.
Yep.
But even in that book,
and right now we're doing word of mouth marketing that would help sell it if someone was in the position they wanted to get that book.
Yes. If you have ever tried to convince anyone to ever do anything, it's worth reading this book.
It's a very dangerous book.
Like it's and yeah. You can even do it on yourself. The strategy the person says, you can perform it on yourself. You know what's happening. You can perform, I did it to Tim. He knew what was happening. It still works. It's really good.
She sold me on some ideas. That's basically what she's saying. Boom.
No. It was a time when you wanted to be persuaded to do that thing, and I did it on you, and you were frustrated that it worked still, even though we both know I was doing it. I wasn't tricking you. You knew what was happening.
I got what you're saying.
Yeah. Still worked. So take that book. In that book, you are targeting something that the person already wants. You're having them come up with their own reasons because the usual approach is for me to force my reasons upon you. Mm-hmm. Even in this show, we're doing it like, no, you're wrong because of da. So even in this book, it's like, okay, you tell me what part of this resonates with you, and then you build on that. So how do you sell the puke green blob to someone on a mass scale that makes it profitable, building on a want that someone already has?
There is someone out there in the world that wants a gross toy.
It's not.
They want something that's puke green and it's a blob because they happen to have a collection of blobs throughout the years. And they just so happen to go to Baltimore and find some small toy store that makes these blob figurines. Oh my goodness. And now, as seen on TV, the ultimate small blob green collection.
So are you willing to say that not only is there a customer for everything, but everything can be profitable? Because what about the thing
Does
for
profitable
like,
have to mean
yeah, you
that's the definition for success? I mean, all we're talking
no,
about
that
is
you're
selling
in
something.
the black, that you made these things, you
Does
sold them.
Does that have to be the case? We're not talking about success. We're talking about, can you sell something to someone? Anything. And the answer to that is absolutely
I'm talking
yes.
about success. We have a podcast where we're talking to
But
about entrepreneurs.
The whole thing of being successful is not what we're debating here. We're debating, can you sell anything? Like the hope hope is
then let me be
successful.
Clear. Let me be clear. In my saying that, it is because I'm saying no, you can't, because I do not believe that everything is profitable. That's the subtext of what I thought we were on the same page about that.
That was not what we were talking about.
So you're saying just this one thing. Like if I had one piece of blob plastic, I can sell that to somebody.
You could find somebody that would be willing to buy it.
All right, I'm not sure I'm willing to disagree with that. I think the problem was there was an unsaid underlying assumption that we were not on the same page about.
So my opinion is correct.
I'd say it doesn't stink. It passes the smell test.
So
I'm still keeping my ears open for that.
This is where Tim takes a victory lap. So let me find a random product just to make it a third, just to put a bow on it, and let's see what's the weirdest. Let's go on consumables because people are very picky about what they eat. No, that's not good. Let's go for gadgets because gadgets are probably going to be weird. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go for one that's awkward. This is awkward. All right, just the name is awkward. All right, let's go for this. So there's a product called the Lizard Cam, right? And what it appears to be is a snakeable camera, and it's on it's handheld, and you can feed the camera.
Don't all the plumbers and HVAC people and things have that?
No, most of the time they just snake whatever. They might have a snakeable camera, but this seems to be something that's for the general public. Because we are not professionals. We don't plumb.
Why do I want to see what's down there?
Because you might want to find that ring that's in that picture.
Does it help you get the ring out?
Probably not. That's not the problem that it's
Well, if I knew it fell down there, I need a plumber?
But you need to know how far. The whole thing is Atomic Beam created this thing called a Lizard Cam, and you can go in and you can feed the line through whatever like crevice you have. Crevasse if you're English. And you can see whatever it is, and it appears that it's full color or something like that. It doesn't say HD, so we're not going to say that. And it has an LED light, so when you're looking at your ring, you can see that it's like twinkling.
The ring you drop down the drain.
So this is listed on this As Seen for TV website for the sales price at $24.95, which is very reasonably priced for someone to just go ahead and spend money to have the ability to look into their pipes and walls and probably under doors and wherever else you need to snake a camera. Debate me on that.
I'm not going to debate you on that.
Because that was my victory lap, ladies and gentlemen.
You're just talking about a weird camera that I don't want. So
good night, everybody. Leave it on a high note.
If
it's very rare that I can leave her speechless, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying.
No, I'm formulating my next question because is there a time you would not want to sell someone something?
I think that comes down to ethics and morals. Are you asking me on a personal level, or are you talking about just in general?
In general.
I think there may be some people that will have second or third thoughts about something they're selling, but I also believe that there's people that will sell you complete snake oil, like the lady we talked about in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
So
just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I agree with that.
All
Because
right. I feel better about
there's some
that.
things that you just really shouldn't do. But then there's some things like this lizard cam, where you really need to find where that ring is in your pipe.
So,
It's a good thing.
as entrepreneurs, the entrepreneurs who are listening,
Mhm.
how can the entrepreneurs who are listening tell the difference between something that is
Ugh.
profitable
Yeah.
and something that is not? If you
Oh,
can
I.
sell something to anyone,
Mm,
there
okay.
must be some sort of distinction somewhere.
I don't think that can be a distinction for anyone to make because you never know what reasons and seasons people are in. You only can speculate. I can't say that there's a way to
You can do
predict.
market research. We
But
do market research.
you can do market research, but it doesn't mean that you can prove or predict
No, you can't.
to absolute certainty that whatever it is that you have for sale is going to sell and sell big. I mean, we even talked about there possibly being iterations of the spin gym for Forbes. I'm sure that there's been versions. I think I remember my mom buying one in the 80s. I think I remember playing with one in the 80s. Forbes has been around. That version, I assume, is not. So, if you believe in your solution so much that you're willing to go through all the measures to make it successful, you will find the faults. Or people who are purchasing will tell you the faults, and you revise and you improve and all that. And there's nothing better than at least getting it out. Once it's out, then it's a matter of actually I'll take a step back. You can even sell it before it's out, but once it's out, it's there for the person you're trying to serve.
So, what's an indicator that I've traveled down this road way too far? It's not. I believed in it, but it is just not viable.
See,
What's an indicator for that?
it's
Because
funny.
I can imagine there are people who spent years,
I have something for that.
fortunes trying to make this thing work, had all the marketing, had all the vision,
I have it.
and it just wasn't connecting.
And I encourage all of you to listen to the Swick show, our sister show for here. I had an episode with Dontecia Seymour. Hey, Dontecia, how you doing? And she is an inventor. She helps people do their inventions. So, of course, she goes through all of the inventor stuff. Like, the whole thing of as seen on TV is her world because she helps people make it there.
Right.
The whole thing of one of her stories, and I asked that question about just when do you pull the plug on
I
something.
don't remember this. Go ahead.
And she talked about how she had a client that she worked with, and all they cared about was just making it. They just wanted to get the idea out of their head
Yes.
and have it machined and have it in their hand. They didn't even have an intention of selling it. It was just, I had this idea. I wanted to make sure that I just wanted to make it work. I just wanted it. And it's probably sitting in a box somewhere, and they're happy as all get out because they got the solution out of their head and they made the solution without the intention of trying to turn a buck.
Sure.
So I say that to say this: it's up to the creator, it's up to the proprietor, the service provider, whatever. I don't think that there is this pure defined definition of what makes success and when we should pull the plug on something. I do believe that, again, I'm sorry about that. I do believe that you still have to have vision to see where you want to go and if you have any pitfalls or anything like that. You got to pay attention to what's going on around you and what you're doing. Because, yes, there's going to be some ideas that are going to be completely bad, but at the end of the day, you're the one determining what level of success is success to you.
Yes.
So,
I'd have to agree with that.
yeah, I can't say that
And
there's a construct.
I take, and I really like the idea of you bringing out that profit is not the only motivation. I know that.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. For that person had their motivation, at least 51% been profit, then maybe that would have been a moment. There were indicators that, okay, this is not viable.
Yeah.
And so perhaps taking your construct, they could have sold it, but to like 5 people, and it would have cost a lot of money
It cost
to be able
this
to
person
make
thousands.
this thing to only deliver to 5 people.
Right. And maybe that might be it. Maybe the goal is these 5 people who know that they need XYZ, I'll make it no matter what.
All right. So basically, debate 1 about leadership was a draw, but debate 2, I concede. You won. It's a lesson in diving into the nuance of a person's argument and finding the points of agreement and disagreement and realizing we had a miscommunication
I am not a bad sport. I am not a bad sport.
Shake on it. Shake. Your opinion stinks.
But I do have sour grapes.
Oh.
For all the husbands out there that when you get yours, you celebrate like, what?
Oh, he's gonna love this win. I concede. Good job, Timothy.
Thank you. It was a good debate, though. There was some very valid points on your side. I'm not going to say that you didn't.
Thank
you didn't put up a good fight.
Oh, thank you very much.
But you got hit with 4 hooks at one time, so you must have forgot.
Oh.
I told you, sour grapes, baby. Sour grapes. Love them sour grapes.
Fine. End the episode, Tim, so I can go lick my wounds.
Thank you for watching this episode of Your Opinion Stinks. If you're listening, of course, if you're on the YouTubes, don't forget subscribe and hit the alert button so that way you get more episodes alerted to you when it happens. iTunes or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Please subscribe, and hit that auto download so you have it go directly to your device. And don't forget to join the community, the awesome community that we're building, where people are coming in and being a part of something very special, universal to our hearts, at youropinionstinks.com/uplift. I am Tim.
And I'm Tanisha. And remember, opinions are not facts. Do your research and have fun in the fight. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. So that's nice.